This is Bali. I'm showing you the luxurious side of Ubud you almost never see. With beautiful people and actual kings. From fine wines and fine dining, to exclusive villas for sale, to race cars in rice fields. This is how to live like a king. Good evening, Ms. Groneveld.
Mr. Henderson?
Good evening. Pinstripe Bar has some rules. No name dropping, always toast before doing a shot. It's okay to drink alone. Patience is a virtue, and learning never exhausts the mind.
It seems they know how to enforce the rule.
To meeting in Bali.
Meeting in Bali.
We're meeting the actual king tomorrow. And it's interesting to me how Ubud and Bali has gone from being this mecca for hippies to being very luxurious in some ways. And I think so many people still come here for the spirituality.
I mean, I think spirituality is an important thing. That is why I love Bali and Ubud, because we get to interconnect. But I think that's also part of the wealth of the luxury. Where in the cities you don't have that. That's the luxury of finding your true self in a way.
I'm wondering how many people are in Ubud who are actually here for that spirituality versus how many are here for the fine dining and the luxury villas, and now there's a whole new level of luxury.
Well, I think it's a balance. You could enjoy all those luxuries, but still connect with yourself and really stay in tune.
My issue with Bali was always the good vibes only crowd that came from the Western countries, which to me is basically, if we don't get along, it's because you have bad vibes.
Right.
And yet I feel like you're finding more people coming from all over the global south now. Russians are welcome here. People from all over the world are here. And it's not just the good vibes only Australians now.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of diverse people. A lot of people also do businesses here and thrive. They have a lot of agriculture as well as development, like properties and all those things. So I think it's an amazing opportunity to be living in Bali.
People are making money in Bali now.
Of course.
To making money.
To making money.
I've taken the liberty of selecting the premium wines for our prefix menu. You're pretty good behind the wheel.
I won.
Barely.
Sure.
That's what I tell myself. I wouldn't imagine being able to race Porsches through Ubud.
It's the luxury of living in Bali, I think.
One of the things that's interesting in a country like this is you can buy almost anything. So like a live-in maid is paid minimum wage.
I think so.
I've heard $5,000 or $6,000 a year. And so you need a maid's room.
Yeah.
And you have to feed them.
Yeah, of course.
And it's
take care of them. Yeah.
$5,000 or $6,000 a year. What would they do for you?
Cook, clean, basically do basic household needs.
So for someone coming from the West who says, oh, how am I going to adapt to handling household chores in a new place?
Household mates will make your life way easier.
Right.
Sure.
And you live in Jakarta. I'm curious to hear your perspective, because we've talked about how people don't have a lot of disposable income in many cases, but yet you have more and more people who do.
I've moved into Jakarta like 5 years ago from my hometown. Loved it, wouldn't move anywhere.
What do you see as some of the new big trends in Indonesian business?
A lot of food and beverage companies or entrepreneurs are rising right now.
Like consumer goods companies?
Consumer goods. Food and beverage is a big thing. Fashion and retail is a big thing. Beauty is huge in Indonesia.
So rather than Korean skincare, there's new Indonesian skincare
There are
companies.
a lot of Indonesian skincare, but we also have a lot of Korean brands that enter Indonesia.
One of the things I noticed about Indonesian culture, and especially here in Bali, everybody's so polite and kind, very much similar to what I have in Kuala Lumpur.
I feel like Bali is like a magnet. It's filled with energy. So when you come into Bali, you have a certain energy, whether it's positive or negative. Sometimes after a heartbreak, like that eat, pray, love situation, you come to Bali, you try to find that. And that was, I think, something that's important is that when you come to Bali, you have this energy. And Bali is trying to balance it out for everyone. So if you're trying to take so much of the good energy away, I think the Balinese people needs to balance that. That's why through rituals and all of those things, they're able to do that. I think it's, in a way, Bali chooses you.
We have an event every year with hundreds of people in my home in Kuala Lumpur. All of my staff who comes, 24, they all have to bring 2 bottles of wine from where they live. And that's how I fill my wine cellar for the year. I've always felt the perfect scent for the jungles of Bali was Tom Ford's Azure Lime. The citrus, the sophistication, it's perfect for our adventures. A lot of people are looking for a place to recharge, reduce their stress, give their kids a safe place to live. Bali is on the top of a lot of people's lists. Indonesia has a residence program. It's open to investors, even in freehold property. We're going to talk right now with one of the developers who is turning Bali into a place where millionaires can come and live either part-time or full-time. Johannes moved here from Austria. He's building projects all over Bali, and it's good to have you here.
Very good, thank you.
I imagine coming from Austria, there's a big culture shock, and I'm wondering if you're a true millionaire, how do you live here and get stuff done?
When you look about Bali as a whole and what it means on a global scale right now, Bali has become not a destination to simply just live. You know, we as global citizens have chosen many different destinations, and Bali has become one of those hotspots where you want to spend some of your time. So it's not just about living here forever. It's more like you're coming in to spend some amazing time and then you move on, you know, to go to other places. But I think what's really, really unique about this island is it has the cultural openness to allow people to become who they want to be and to do what they want to do in a way. That's the first one. And the second one is it's a lifestyle market, you know, it's a lifestyle real estate market, because you can go onto many, many different islands around the world, but all you have is coconut trees and nice beaches. In Bali, you can meet interesting entrepreneurs, you've got incredible human capital, you've got an open culture, and you've got amazing service and F&B and all the facilities that you want. That's world class. It's in the nature. I mean, you look around. I mean, the Balinese people have a big smile on their face and they have a very, very warm heart, I would say. And that's come through in everything you do. And you go one island further, you go to Lombok, or 2 islands further to Sumbawa, it's a completely different vibe. So I think there's something truly unique about the culture here that makes Bali so powerful. And if you come back regularly, the moment you land on the airport, you'll get that feeling. You get that I am in Bali, I feel the energy. Some people say it's spiritual, some people say it's the plates of the planet or whatever it may be, but it is there, and I think people feel it.
I think what's interesting here about Russians being able to come is that this country, Indonesia, is a place, as part of the global south, they call it, that is just open and non-discriminatory.
You see, if I summarize Bali in one word, I would summarize it with the word freedom. Freedom because it lets you be who you want to be. And I think you can be, you can be a pro surfer, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a model. And this is the culture here. And that gives people this sense of optimism and this sense of potential that they don't find in many developed countries. Here, you feel a sense of opportunity and potential.
So tell me about the market trends in Bali.
Bali market for us is a lifestyle real estate market, which means it's not a traditional market where people buy to live. It's a place where you invest, you use it for lifestyle purposes, and when you're not there, it makes you money. The market itself isn't that big. It's about a $2 billion market when it comes to transactions, 1.5 billion when it comes to actually rental transactions, so in terms of rental yields. And it's changing very quickly now, where it's moving from a pure holiday market to a real investment market. There's a difference between different investment models. One is a leasehold, which is the easiest one. Basically, you can go with your passport and you take a, say, 30-year lease for a particular plot of land or for a house. And because the yields are good, it's still a good investment, even though there's an expiry date to that. The second one is what's reserved for Indonesian citizens. It's a freehold model. That's in a way a model that protects the country. The Indonesians should own Indonesia. But for foreigners, there's ways to structure that through a foreign investment company, whereby a foreign investment company can own or control land through a company structure.
But if you're married to Fabiënne, you just come and buy whatever you want.
Exactly.
She'll handle it for you. Thank you, Johannes, for the great market insights. Fabiënne's going to go get changed, and we're going to meet the King of Ubud and Bali. So we're driving to meet the King of Ubud in Bali in an S-Class. We originally had booked one of the few Rolls Royces that's available to rent here in Bali, and it broke down. This car should have been an hour late, so you certainly can live like a king here in Bali. But if you're like me and you like everything to run exactly on time, it's probably not the place for you. We're going to be showing you how you can have laid-back luxury, multi-million-dollar villas, amazing fine dining, and so much more. I'm here at Ubud, Bali, and today we're going to interview His Royal Highness himself, the King of Ubud and Bali. And he's going to talk to Miss Universe Indonesia and I about the history of this very sacred island, why so many people have come here over the years, how it's evolved, and why you should come and take part in what he calls the secret of Ubud. What do you think about the changes in Bali over the years?
I mean, natural changing is very universal in terms of practicing religions, and it is still being preserved in terms of ritual, even more glamorous, because everything nowadays you can get it easily if you have money. Can be the destruction, and that is the harder job we have in my generation, especially to give more the young generation what it is. It's not just a ritual, it's spiritual.
This is one of those places that people know it more as the city than as part of the country. Yeah. Bali more than Indonesia.
That's what we're being tried in the villages, to discuss all that kind of exploitation of culture, not just for promoting Bali, but it should be also to preserve the essence of the spirit of Bali, just like plant a trees, a flower. If you have a nice seed, you don't need a big land. But if you look after the seed nicely, they will give you flowers and fruit.
Well, it's a beautiful place, and thank you so much for hosting us.
It's a pleasure. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Next up, Bali is a sacred place. Fabienne's going to show you the malakat. This is how you cleanse away all of your stress.
So this is for tomorrow's preparation for the ceremony.
Called Piodalan.
Piodalan.
That's every 210 days.
Every 210 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because tomorrow is the full moon,
Yes.
so we make higher
Oh.
ceremony with the high priest.
If you've got a sweet tooth, this is the place to stop. Gaia Gelato. They say it's the best.
My country, my treat.
There's a whole lot of construction going on all over Bali, but if you want a taste of home, Starbucks has been here now for years. You can get your caramel macchiato. Zero sacrifices. From Cambodia to here in Ubud, Southeast Asia has some of the nicest Starbucks. Give it tall, hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate, sure.
Make it hot.
Have you ever had babi guling?
I don't believe that I have.
It's amazing. We should get you one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So babi guling is roasted pork, and guling means that they're just gonna roast them, and it spins the whole pork. And then you usually eat it with rice. They have the soup from the bone. They have vegetables. It's amazing.
Indonesia is a majority Muslim country,
Yeah.
but Bali never was.
Bali is majority Hindu.
And so they've kept that. So you can come and people don't judge you for drinking. People eat pork.
Yeah. Indonesia is a country that tolerates. So we have different religions here. That's why we have Pancasila, which is like our motto as an Indonesian.
We're here at the Maya Resort and Spa. It's got one of the coolest views anywhere in Ubud. Fabienne's checking out their art gallery, and we're going to be meeting with an actual nomad capitalist client. He's got a really cool business, and we're going to be having Indonesian drinks in just a minute. How long have you lived in Bali?
So I've been coming here since 2019, on and off. Since 2022, I've been here about 4 to 6 months of each of the last 3 years.
And so you come here and do the recharge, and then where else do you go the rest of the year?
I'll spend time between many different countries in Europe. For example, Germany, I go there often to work with our scientific advisor for my company. I like Albania very much. I really like Croatia. I like Spain. I really love everything about European culture from every single place I've been. So I just bounce around, and I'm just hoping one day I find a place that I want to land in Europe. And then maybe a month to 2 of the year, I'll go back to the States for some business and to see family.
So that's what I did for many years. You bounce around, you slow travel, you find out where you feel it. Do you feel like you're closer now than when you left to finding that place or places?
I'm getting there. I really resonate with your trifecta method. When I first heard that, I thought, oh my gosh, that was designed for me, because that's basically what I started doing. At first, I thought, okay, I'm gonna go Austin, Texas, Costa Rica, and then Europe. And more I was drawn to Bali. So I thought, well, Europe's kind of in the middle of the States and Indonesia, so I can kind of use Europe as the central hub and swing over to Asia and then swing over to the States for a bit.
What do you like about here in Bali?
I like a lot of things. I would say the soul of the people for me is very, very beautiful. The people are so kind. The way that they respond with just a big smile for me speaks a lot about the people. So I love that kindness, and I think that's part of the reason why this works as such a big destination.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Absolutely.
What is this?
Babi guling burgers.
Babi guling burger. Oh, did you arrange this?
Yeah.
This is our babi guling.
So babi guling is one of the staple dishes in Bali and one of my favorites. So they had it in burger form, so you could try it.
Oh, well, thank you. So you've been gone for 5 or 6 years now. How did that come about?
It actually really started when I went and studied abroad. So this really opened my mind. I learned about the concept of a gap year, and things just clicked. As a kid, I had some health challenges that caused me to research diet and nutrition, and then I got down the rabbit hole and learned about this concept of health relating to circadian rhythms and sleep and our body clock. And so I learned about eyewear that can actually block those disruptive wavelengths of light to allow people to sleep better. Started the business, and it just started working, and I was thinking about about the 4-hour work weeks, Tim Ferriss and some other, the lean startups, some great books I had read. So I started trying to make it work while I was traveling.
You were building this while you were traveling?
Yeah, on my gap semester, and the gap year never ended. So I'm basically on the gap year that never ended.
So yeah, so you started this business, and how's it going?
It's going really well. Yeah, we've had a lot of success. If you're open for it, I'd love to show you our product. So this is a pair of our sunset lenses. So these are a lens that's designed to be worn in the evening between the time the sun sets and the time that you go to sleep. It blocks the light that disrupts the sleep cycle, and it allows you to wind down naturally and fall asleep more easily, sleep more deeply, and wake up with more energy. Now this yellow lens is our daylight lens. This is designed to be used during the day. The thing is, we live in a world today where we don't need more stress, and yet the blue enriched LED lighting, which has been installed everywhere, replacing the old school incandescent, you know, that warmer fire style light, is zapping our hormones, damaging the eyes. So blue light protection is a natural first step. But what's really exciting for me is, 7 years into the business with proof of concept well behind us, over 100,000 customers, we've decided to go into lighting. So we're actually going to fix the root problem.
Well, it's great to hear your success. I think you're going to be happy going on it with your life as an Irishman, traveling the world. You'll be accepted everywhere, and we wish you good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks for all your work. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
It's inspired me. Cheers.
Cheers to that. How do you cheers to a coconut? Just kind of tap the coconut.
Cheers. Yeah, cheers.
I don't normally drink beer, but when I'm in Indonesia with Fabiënne, I drink bintang. So can I say simply makasih?
The intonation needs to be fixed.
So makasih.
No, not like that. More humble. Yeah. Makasih.
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 See, it's working. Thank you. Makasih. All right. So you're seeing real people in the real world who can live in a place like Bali. They don't need to have the passport where they're born because people can make money anywhere now. We're going to take you to an amazing Balinese dinner. We're going on a double date. It's Locavore NXT. They call it a visual fiesta, and it's got some of the best Balinese cuisine that you're not going to want to miss if you come to Ubud.
Hello.
Oh. Hello, I'm Andrew.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jenna.
This is Fabiënne.
Jenna, nice to meet you.
And so this is the Villa Yaya.
Exactly. So this is Villa Yaya. Started with this beautiful pool, infinity pool, overlooking the jungle. As you can see, you're not hearing any sounds, and you're 10 to 15 minutes away from Ubud Center.
So it's California living without the California price for $425,000 US.
Exactly. Most of our investors are from overseas, not really from Indonesia, so we always put the price in USD and also in Euro and also in IDR on our websites.
So it's $425,000, and I've got 27 years going on my lease.
Exactly.
But then in 27 years from now, they could decide we want to extend you for 20 more years. Or maybe not.
So in most cases, on the master lease, you have already the extension mentioned. When it's not mentioned, normally you don't have an extension, but you can always talk with the landlord, and usually they're very open to give
But I would
out
imagine
extension.
27 years from now, this is worth $5 million.
Yeah,
They
probably.
can do right. So yeah, I mean, so basically, I'm paying rent for 27 years up front.
Exactly.
It's about $15,000 a year.
But it is yours. So you can do anything you want basically with the property for 27 years, it's yours.
I haven't had my own private backyard pool, I think since I lived in the US, and that was a long time ago. There's something about waking up and just being able to jump in without needing to go anywhere or look a certain way that is very soothing. So you have this set up as a vacation rental also.
Exactly.
And what would I be getting in rent when I'm not here?
So roughly, nightly price is 3.8 IDR, which is around 260.
3.8 million rupiah.
Exactly.
So that's like $225, $230 a night at about 16,000 to one.
Yeah, exactly. Peak season is more going to be around December, January, and high season is going to be July, August. In this period of time, you're going to be more around 300 up to 320 even for a property like that.
And so people will come for peak season around Christmas and New Year's just for the holidays?
Exactly.
But the weather still isn't ideal.
Exactly. For some reason, they still love to come to Bali.
They like to come for the New Year's.
Yeah.
So this is truly indoor-outdoor living. You're walking through your courtyard to all of your rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things that I love about having properties around the world is I have the wardrobe that stays there waiting for me. I just come with a laptop bag And if I'm renting it out, that's obviously harder. It seems like here, if I want to lock up my wardrobe and go, I would need to make some modifications.
Or there's also a staff room.
So you move all your stuff to the staff room, have your staff do that, and then you move it back.
Exactly.
This seems like the kind of property where you would just get a household staff that stays with the house.
Yeah.
When you're here, they serve you. When someone else is here, they serve them.
Yeah.
And that, I think, happens in a lot of villas in Ubud.
Exactly.
Look at that pool.
So this one is a 5-bedroom spread on 700 square meter of land for 600,000 USD.
So you've got a 400 square meter, about 4,500 square foot property. And this is the pool that everybody imagines in Bali.
Exactly. So yeah, it's very much jungle, and you do have a rice field view on this side as well.
And you've even got your own massage room.
Exactly.
Ready to go.
So here is 1 bedroom. This is not the master bedroom, but it's super spacious.
And so this is one that's also rented out.
Daily.
Yeah.
Mostly.
How much are they going to charge you for this one?
Around 350, 400 for low season, and up to $700 per night for high season.
And what percentage of the time would this be rented out?
Around, let's say, 75, 80%. There's a better occupancy rate in Canggu and Uluwatu because Ubud is super nice and spiritual, like you said, but there's no beach. And most of the tourism are people coming for yoga retreats or looking for very big houses like that, very big villas.
If I want to buy these and rent them out, I understand we need a certain kind of residence permit?
Exactly. So you need a PTPMA, basically, with a license to be able to rent. You cannot rent just like that. And you have a tax when you rent, which is the dispenda, around 10% from your gross income per month.
So over here, this is something called canang. So in Bali, this is a spiritual offering to the gods. It usually consists of flowers, incense, and the offering, sometimes money or biscuits or even candy. So this is a sacred thing that is being done every day, and it is typically prepared by a woman of the household. And you can see them a lot in Bali, all over the streets, in businesses, household, temples. So they offer this daily and on special occasions. So when you come and see this in Bali, make sure to pay your respects and to not step on them, please.
What I want you to see is that in a time when you can run your business from anywhere, you don't need to have a Western passport. You can come to a place like Bali. They're not going to judge where you're from. And so why bring that baggage with you? It's easier than ever to have a second passport from a place that people may not have heard of. And you can be just as successful and still live like a king. We're going to continue now with dinner at an amazing Balinese restaurant. It's called Locavore NXT. We're going on a double date with an entrepreneur who's also making big business here in Bali. And if you want to learn how to live this life, do what Matthew did and create your own holistic plan to live like a king wherever you please, protect your assets, and keep more of your money. We're here at one of the top Balinese restaurants anywhere in Ubud, and before we dine, we're going to go and see just how they create an amazing farm-to-table experience. As they say, go local or go home. The roof jungle is where it all begins.
It's not only a restaurant, I think it's more than a restaurant, of course.
So over here, are you growing vegetables that we actually will eat tonight?
Correct. We usually forage our ingredients in the food forest. We have quite a few things here. We have beehives. We're working on 2 beehives. This is our joglo. This is where we grow our seeds. But sometimes our forager or ourselves, we also take something here.
To wearing Laura Piano in Ubud.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Locavore NXT. So I'd like to pass to you a small letter from the chefs, and it just talks a little bit more about your experience this evening. So as you may have heard, we only use local ingredients here at Next. Okay, and before I go, I'd like to ask, would you like to complete the experience with a drink pairing? Or is it just a la carte for tonight?
Which do you think would be more preferable?
I think the cocktails might be interesting.
Do the cocktails?
All right, so that's 2 alcohol pairings. All right, thank you so much. I will bring your first experience and your snack very soon. So, here I have for you, this is our audio landscape. Ready to start?
Yes.
Okay, enjoy.
We're ready to enjoy foraging.
Real nice.
So we're gonna serve you the first course over here. So this dish is called Into the Wild. So essentially everything here is forage and entirely edible. Even the weird leaves, flowers, and even the eel looking inside, that is completely edible. And I would suggest you enjoy the ingredients with the sauces as a dip, but feel free to eat it however you like. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy foraging.
So you were in Miss Universe 2 years ago now.
2023, yes. The real reason was because I wanted to have a gap year and my parents didn't allow me. So I decided to join pageantry, and I figured that if I won, I'd have my gap year because I have to work as the winner. So I joined, I won, and competed in the Philippines. And then once I fell in love with the whole process, I wanted to dig deeper, and Miss Universe has always been a dream of mine. So I went to university, got my degree, and applied for Miss Universe Indonesia. Won that and went to El Salvador for the international competition.
So you've decided to take the Miss Universe title and be more involved in media and business now.
It's always been a dream, and I've worked in production before, television production, so I thought, what if I combined all the things that I love?
I hear you can take over the license for any Miss Universe countries.
It would be a dream to take over a license, you know. As a winner, I think I would be able to run it in a way from a competitor's perspective, how I would run things. So maybe it'll be a fun challenge, who knows, in the future.
Yeah. I've gotten to thinking about this because Miss Universe is the biggest of the big four, as I understand.
Yes.
It'd be a good business to be in. It comes with a great built-in brand, and there's really quite a discipline, I think, to pageantry that a lot of people don't imagine.
Yes. Well, I always say pageantry is like war. You have to be disciplined, you have to know your things, and like knowledge is your weapon. You'll be able to, how you're able to answer questions, or the way you act, your behavior, are you on time or not? It's not just about the catwalk, you know, and the swimsuits and the fancy glitz and glam of the dresses and the stage.
Maybe I should buy a pageant. Or start a pageant, Miss Nomad.
Miss Nomad.
You like that?
Yeah. All right, okay. I'll be your consultant.
Once you've won Miss Universe, you don't step down to Miss Nomad.
I can be a consultant.
Behind this door is where another world awaits. So right now we're gonna enter this place called the root system. So this is our very own mushroom chamber. So this is what we call the biolibrary. So we take approximately 90 photographs of a specimen and uploaded it one by one to create. And if you've seen 2 edible courses, it's gonna be your next dish.
Genuinely a pleasure.
We have all the most beautiful people here in Bali.
Making us blush.
So how long have you guys been here?
Me and my wife have been here on and off for around 6 years, and now we kind of live a bit in Bali, a bit in Europe, a little bit in Cape Town, and kind of move around a little bit.
And where's the Cape Town component?
It is a great time zone for Europe.
It is.
And during the winter season, it's just great weather.
That's something that we really see a lot from our clientele, especially as they get wealthier, is the time zone matters. Being here in Southeast Asia, I mean, you're getting people from Latin America or the US and Europe, and you're the one doing the call at midnight. So you're getting married.
In Germany. So me and my fiance are...
Is she also German?
Yes. We are building everything together. Like all of the businesses and everything, we have that together. So we spend also 12 months out of the year together. Makes things easy. But she enjoys Bali very much.
You find it hard to learn the language?
The only way that you can understand the language of their culture and their country is by putting in the work, and a lot of respect comes with that.
And where are you from originally?
Australia.
I thought you said Australia.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you go back to Australia at all these days?
Very rarely, and I think you would know why. Yeah, I left Australia a long time ago.
Do you miss not being there all the time?
I really go where you're treated best. I think my biggest value is freedom. So when you put that together, it equals not being in Australia.
This is one of the hidden gems, I think, for investment. You have one of the biggest populations. They're growing. All the BRICS, the global south stuff. I mean, it just seems to me a natural play.
Yes.
Whether you live here or not, to take a look at it.
The other part of that is that it's possible to do that here, right? If you're building anything in any major city in the Western world, to just get approval is a nightmare. And you just see that a lot of people are coming here because, like Neil said, it's the barrier to entry is much lower, the bureaucracy is much lower. If you have an idea, you can genuinely create it.
This is actually a very interesting question that I have, is to what extent do you maintain your values in a different place, and how much do you adapt to other values which maybe you don't entirely agree with, but you respect the other people that have them? And how do you finesse that spectrum?
So I would say in Bali, you have no choice but to accept certain things. And I think it's always good to accept those things. For us, obviously being in a foreign country and being the foreigner, you really have to adapt to however the culture works here. And in terms of safety, like robbings or whatever, I would say Bali is probably one of the safest places in the world.
On par with Dubai?
Yeah, of course, after Dubai.
After Dubai, not quite Dubai. Tell me the difference in any of your opinion from Ubud to Canggu to Uluwatu.
Well, I typically stay around the Seminyak area, which is more lively, I would say. A lot of nightlife and Indonesian tourists and tourists in general. So actually this is one of the rarest time I visited Ubud. It's a bit different than the rest of Bali, but it's a nice change.
Is this the place where you come to get over the breakup, or to heal, or to celebrate?
Yes, definitely. I was telling about Melukat. This is the purity ceremony that we do. It's a place where you're able to cleanse yourself from all the stress, all the negative energy, and like center yourself with the earth. I think it's really, really good to do, and there's a lot of places in Ubud for that.
I'm going tomorrow.
I think Bali is growing very quickly, and it has a lot of growing pains, like infrastructure, roads, things like that. But with the investment that's coming in and with careful planning, I think it can become a really incredible hub for a lot of amazing things to happen here in the future.
So it's progressing fast, which is great.
So after spending a couple of days in Bali, I've realized this probably isn't the place that I want to live like a king. But that's the beauty of choice. That's what Nomad Capitalist stands for. There are hundreds of places around the world where you can go and find what you're looking for. If you want something that's a bit more laid back, where people are open and kind, where the environment is important, this could be a place to consider. Indonesia is opening up to residents, it's opening up its banking system. It's a place that should be on your radar. I want to thank our amazing co-star Fabiënne, Miss Universe Indonesia, and our producer Monica for their work here in this difficult environment. And I want to thank you for watching. We're going to keep showing you places all around the world, from Bangkok to Buenos Aires, how you can live like a king. Subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And until next time, good night from Bali. How about a drink at my place?
Your place? Is it close?
Very. Welcome to my place. This is how to live like a king.